Does the possibility of creating an AGI system excite you or scare you or bore you?
So intelligence can never really be general. At best, it can have some degree of generality, like human intelligence. It also always has some specialization in the same way that human intelligence is specialized in a certain category of problems, is specialized in the human experience. And when people talk about AGI, I'm never quite sure if they're talking about very, very smart AI, so smart that it's even smarter than humans, or they're talking about human-like intelligence, because these are different things.
Let's say, presumably, I'm impressing you today with my humanness. So imagine that I was in fact a robot. So what does that mean? I'm impressing you with natural language processing. Maybe if you weren't able to see me, maybe this is a phone call.
Yeah.
So that kind of system.
Okay, so
companion.
So that's very much about building human-like AI. And you're asking me, is this an exciting perspective?
Yes.
I think so. Yes. Not so much because of what artificial human-like intelligence could do, but from an intellectual perspective, I think if you could build truly human-like intelligence, that means you could actually understand human intelligence, which is fascinating, right? Human-like intelligence is going to require emotions. It's going to require consciousness, which is not things that would normally be required by an intelligent system. If you look at, we were mentioning earlier, like science as superhuman problem-solving agent or system. It does not have consciousness, it doesn't have emotions. In general, so emotions, I see consciousness as being on the same spectrum as emotions. It is a component of the subjective experience. It is meant very much to guide behavior generation, right? It's meant to guide your behavior. In general, human intelligence and animal intelligence has evolved for the purpose of behavior generation, right? Including in a social context. So that's why we actually need emotions. That's why we need consciousness. An artificial intelligence system developed in a different context may well never need them, may well never be conscious, like science.
Well, on that point, I would argue it's possible to imagine that there's echoes of consciousness in science when viewed as an organism, that science is consciousness.
So, I mean, how would you go about testing this hypothesis? How do you probe the subjective experience of an abstract system like science?
Well, the point of probing any subjective experience is impossible because I'm not science, I'm Lex. So I can't probe another entities. It's no more than bacteria on my skin.
You're Lex. I can ask you questions about your subjective experience and you can answer me. And that's how I know you're conscious.
Yes, but that's because we speak the same language. We have to speak the language of science in order to ask.
Honestly, I don't think consciousness, just like emotions or pain and pleasure, is not something that inevitably arises from any sort of sufficiently intelligent information processing. It is a feature of the mind. And if you've not implemented it explicitly, it is not there.
So you think it's an emergent feature of a particular architecture. So do you think
it's a feature in the same sense? So again, the subjective experience is all about guiding behavior. If the problems you're trying to solve don't really involve embodied agents, maybe in a social context, generating behavior and pursuing goals like this. And if you look at science, that's naturally what's happening, even though it is a form of artificial AI in this artificial intelligence, in the sense that it is solving problems, it is accumulating knowledge, accumulating solutions, and so on. So if you're not explicitly implementing a subjective experience, implementing certain emotions and implementing consciousness, it's not going to just spontaneously emerge.
Yeah, but so for a system like human-like intelligence system that has consciousness, do you think it needs to have a body?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it doesn't have to be a physical body, right? And there's not that much difference between a realistic simulation and the real world.
Oh, so there has to be something you have to preserve, kind of thing.
Yes, but human-like intelligence can only arise in a human-like context. intelligence
You
is
need other
time.
humans in order for you to demonstrate that you have human-like intelligence,
Yes.
essentially.
Yes.